Hello and welcome to The Great Escape. A British historian once said many years ago that you needed a horse of wood, legs of stone, and a frame of iron to survive in this place we're going to take you to right now. Well, it is still a remote outpost, but if you can gather the spirit to venture here, you will be seeing one of the few places in the world that you're likely to never forget.
It's a moonlit night on the dunes. There's music in the air, and dancers in exotic costumes move to the strains of the sarangi. In October each year, this sleepy little desert town gets transformed into a swirl of activity that lasts until March.
There aren't any direct trains to Jaisalmer, but there are several connections from Jodhpur. I've been traveling for the last 18 hours from Delhi, and right now I'm looking forward to a hot bath and a cozy room. I'm booking to a hotel in Jaisalmer's fort, and I can't wait to get there.
If you're looking for luxury, you won't find it here. In fact, you'll be lucky to get an attached bathroom and hot water. But then that's the price you pay to live inside an ancient fort and get a terrific view of the city. Prices here range between 250 and 450 rupees a night. As an option, there are many luxury hotels in town. Some, like the Narayan Nivas Palace, are actually old Havelis converted into hotels with all the facilities you can think of. Jaisalmer's skyline is dominated by its fort, which seems to grow out of the rock on Trikota Hill. I got my first glimpse of it on my way to the hotel. Now it's time to do a little exploring. "800 years after the fort was built, it continues to be lived in. 1/4 of the city's population lives inside the ramparts, and many of the houses here are several hundred years old.
Jaisalmer's rulers thrived mainly on plunder because there was very little else to live on. And being a water halt on the ancient spice route helped quite a bit because it meant that the caravans had to stop here. But with the opening up of the Bombay port in the 18th century, the land route lost its importance and Jaisalmer's fortunes plummeted. Crime really doesn't pay. Oh well, that's enough of a history lesson. Let's get something to eat.
Israeli people, they like. We have a different people. For Americans, we have the Yankees, Americans, we have the peanut butter jam. For Australians, we have the Vegemite. For English, we have the Marmite. We have all different. For this, for example, for this Israeli, we have sugar rice.
Very little Indian food.
We do have the last thing.
A short walk from the fort is Gadisar, a man-made lake which was once the city's only source of water. You can boat here if you want. I'm heading to the market instead.
The nice thing about Jaisalmer is that every place is within walking distance of another. You're not supposed to know your way around. Just let yourself get lost. Wander through these side streets, these tiny maze-like gullies, and sooner or later, you'll wind up exactly where you want to be.
As you wander about, you'll come across many old Havelis with intricately carved facades of yellow stone. It's this honey-colored stone that gives Jaisalmer its golden city epithet. The Chhatris at Suli Dangri are where the rulers of Jaisalmer and wealthy noblemen were cremated. Lots of intricate work has gone into these structures, and they look beautiful in the light of the setting sun. At nightfall, I had a date with the Manganias. This is the almost unpronounceable name given to a local singing community. They sing folk songs and ballads to the accompaniment of flute and violin-like instruments. I was already high on the music when I caught up with Shrikant, a Harvard student. He's an American citizen who found the lure of Jaisalmer irresistible.
So what have you seen since you've been here?
I've been up to the old city, which is gorgeous. It's, I've wandered about a little bit in the desert.
So have you had like a guide showing you around?
No, I didn't, and I don't think it's necessary. This is the kind of place where you just kind of want to get lost, and that kind of side of the place.
Have you got one of these?
Yeah, I do. I just haven't read it thoroughly enough.
Cheers. Here's to good exploration of the desert.
Wonderful. You'll be happy.
Hiring a jeep is probably the best way to get to places around Jaisalmer. And if you're on a tight budget, then a jeep taxi is just about the best you can get. Chalo ji.
Just 7 kilometers from Jaisalmer, Amar Sagar was once a man-made oasis in the middle of the desert. The water has long disappeared. All that's left today are a few trees, an old temple, and a palace in ruins. Long before Jaisalmer was born, Lodurva was the capital of this region. The ravages of time have taken a heavy toll in the buildings here, and there's not very much you can see. There is a fabulous Jain temple here though, that makes your 16-kilometer drive from Jaisalmer well worth it. Ever wonder where all those desert sequences in Hindi movies are shot? The answer is about 40 kilometers from Jaisalmer in Sum. But I prefer the dunes this way, windswept, desolate, and seemingly timeless. They say that if Jaisalmer offers a whiff of desert life, a camel safari is a veritable feast. I think I'll try one, but that's another story.